All right, cool. Let's check the chat box before we start. Let's see. Oh yeah, KS is in Oakland. Awesome. Um, I did not catch the UAE COP28. I'm unfamiliar with what that is, Ross. Let's take a look. Oh, okay. The chairman is a CEO of the UAE oil giant. Oh, of course. Um, aren't they also making a play for like the human rights groups on the UN councils and whatnot? Uh, they do all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. Uh, good times. Okay, let's go to some charts and let's look at some indexes. All right, so for today, we're on the tail end of our earnings cycle, but still some interesting mentioned, so we'll take a look at that. Today we're just down 0.2%. It's been a choppy morning, a lot of give and take. Yeah, candles all over the place. And let's look at the betting public and see where everyone's wagering their bets with their bulls and bears. All right, so looking at the futures snapshot here, put call ratio about 2.1. This is generally fair value. I'd say fair value is about 2.3. In terms of ratio of bullish, of bearish to bullish. And let's look at the big boy option contracts and pivot to the somewhat mid-tier chunk of the S&P family. And this is 1.2, so a little bit significantly more optimistic. And we've been seeing that trend for the last several weeks. Looks like there's a division of supposed smart money and the super smart money. And let's go to the supposed dumb money and look at SPY and see how's that shaking up and where everyone's wagering their hard-earned money. So about the same level as the SPX side, just maybe a one darker hue of bearishness, but yeah. So we have some divergent opinions overall, and let's go to the cousin indexes and see how the Nasdaq's shaping up. Oh, it is down almost 1% for the day, overreacting a smidge, but people are buying, I guess, the intraday dip. But yeah, it looks a little bullish. Let's go to the schizophrenic index of them all, which is the Russell 2000. It's a great snapshot of the broader small business side of the stock market, and it looks like it's quite bullish, which is very odd for this more volatile index. And it's green for today, which is interesting. And let's look at the diamonds to get a snapshot of the Dow. This is a far smaller index, and people don't really trade this, but it's nice to look at the numbers. And this is also showing its usual characteristic bullishness, which is always the oddball. Okay, and with that, let's pivot to our very depressed VIX indicator from the CBOE. And this again measures the inverse volatility of the SPX and isn't quite a fear index, but gives you a nice snapshot of the market. And we're at we haven't seen recent lows in this category since mid-September. Gosh, the last candle was like 9:15 in this area. So yeah, it's been a fun profit-taking era or not era, I guess 2 months for the bears. And it's now setup time for the next tier of fun volatile events. Cool. And let's jump to our Stock Traders Almanac and look down the rabbit hole. All right, and you can follow along in your notes. It is uploaded there as well. If you don't have it, let me know. I can re-upload. Okay, so November, the read is, it's the number 2 S&P endowment since 1950, number 3 in the NASDAQ since 71. It is the start of the best 6 months, NASDAQ's best 8 months, and the overall best 3 months. Simple timing indicators almost triples the best 6-month strategy, doubles NASDAQ's best 8, and the day before and after Thanksgiving combined, only 17 losses in 68 years. Week before Thanksgiving, Dow's up 19 the last 27. Post-presidential years, November's rank number 3 for the Dow, number 2 for the S&P, and number 3 for the NASDAQ. And yeah, I think that held true pretty well. And let's take a peek into December since we're almost there. It is traditionally number 3 for the S&P and Dow month since 1950. Number 4 for the Nasdaq since 71. 2018 worst December since 1931. And we'll look at 2018 in depth in just a bit, but just keep that year in mind. Yes, so this is the bad December in 2018. It was down over 8% for the Dow and S&P and 9.5% for the Nasdaq. Yada yada. Small caps start to outperform larger caps near the middle of the month. So think Russell 2000 here. And then the Santa Claus rally visible, blah, blah, blah. And we'll take a look at this in depth as well in just a bit. And 1998 was part of the best fourth quarter since 1928. And fourth quarter expiration week is the most bullish triple witching week. So that should be fun. All right. All right, let's go to our fun interactive part of our show and load stock charts. Cool. So we got a relative rotation graph, and just for fun, let's make these tails 8 weeks. We'll make it 2 months. Cool. So we can look at a sector rotation in these different quadrants, and this is a nice, really cool visual tool that is relatively cheap. All right, cool. So each chunk of the tail is a week, and we got an 8-week tail here. So we see energy and oil stocks rotating out of favor. We see tech flying up here, and we catch a lot of action there from NASDAQ. Here's communication stocks spinning circles here. So a lot of 5G players here. XLY is consumer discretionary. So that's not doing well. And let's just recap what's in that again. XLY, weighting. I want to say Costco, but I'm not sure. Just want to make sure. What are in these holdings? Okay. Number 1, Amazon. Number 2, Tesla. Okay, that's BS. McDonald's, Home Depot. I don't think this is a slice of Main Street here, but sure. Nike, Lowe's, Starbucks, bookings. This looks like a very yuppie uh, credit card statement from like Willow Glen or something. um, okay, yeah, this isn't what I thought it would be, but yes, seems very discretionary and ridiculous. Let's look at what's the extra consumer one? Consumer staples. Okay, I think that one's more Costco. Let's see what's in this. And again, these are the 11 subsectors that make up the S&P 500. All right, let's see what's in here. Okay, this one I know a little bit better. So Procter and Gamble, that makes sense. Costco, Walmart, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. That's a little soft drink heavy, but sure. I think for certain demographics, like Coca-Cola is exclusive. Like if you're from Mexico, you drink more Coca-Cola than water. It's a super shady water game that they play down there. But yeah. Okay. This makes more sense. Okay, so yeah, staples and discretionary is a bit different. No surprises there. So yeah, from the table view, this is slightly stale data, by the way, but overall, yeah. So real estate's improving, and on the bottom is energy, and healthcare is the number 2 loser. But yeah, a lot of tech, utilities, and domestic financials are doing fairly well. Cool. Anyone want to drop their favorite tickers? I got a couple old ones saved. Let's load the last one. All right, what do we got here? We got, okay, table view. We got Coinbase, Mara, Riot, Intel, Palantir, Arc, Amazon, AMD, some steel, some semiconductors. We got our Chinese tickers, and we got some other notable losers. We got the Widowmaker on the bottom, not scary at all. And yeah, cool. Any other tickers you guys want to dump in here? 2 week, 8-week tail's a little too crazy. Let's make it back 6 weeks. Tickers, guys? No?
Mm.
You know, Coca-Cola in Mexico uses real cane sugar. There's
That is
a
true.
whole
Yeah.
bunch of reviewers that say that it tastes much better than high fructose corn syrup.
Actually, when you go to Mexico, we were all excited about the real sugar. No, they sell the cane. They sell the fake corn syrup one in Mexico, and they send the sugar one to the USA to sell it for $1.20 a piece. So they use the cheap stuff, the corn syrup, in Mexico, and because we went exactly to buy that and
So
looked on the way.
you're saying deep in Mexico or just
I think what Cancun.
oh yeah, that's a real place in Mexico. Yeah.
So, and the explanation was, so I mean, corn syrup is subsidized by the U.S. government,
Yep.
and it's much cheaper than real sugar.
And it's
But
more addictive.
And it's
Pepsi,
really it's
Pepsi
bad for
has
your
a real
health.
sugar.
Yeah.
Pepsi they've had it at least a year.
Oh, I
So
don't
it's
track it. I just know that I avoid.
and they taste different too, right? I don't drink any soft drink. They taste a little bit different, or
Well,
They
so
taste a
yeah,
lot
on the
different.
internet they say it tastes a lot different, much better. But I've always wanted to try.
I mean, cane sugar it's actually okay, right? Cane sugar, but corn syrup it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
nothing tastes like the European soft drinks though. Like you have Coke and Pepsi in Europe, it's
mhm.
way better. The carbonation, the bubble size and all that,
Oh,
Mm.
it's way better.
so each country will make their own Coke
Yeah, they
or
have their own plants.
Pepsi.
They have their own,
Oh,
carbonation and
The syrup plant. Yeah.
yeah,
oh, there's not like one recipe from the US and
nope.
every place in the world will taste the same. No, okay.
Well, it's licensed. You know, that's at their discretion. There's some there.
Oh, oh, okay. I thought it's owned like by like Coke company and they just do their manufacture in other countries and then sell them in those countries.
I don't know.
Uh,
There's businesses like that are international that have been international forever. I mean, there's even yuppie movies about taking soda to Africa or wherever it was.
Mm-hmm.
We're all about that. Comedy from the 80s.
mhm. But
It's so
yeah.
bad for you. I don't know why people drink it. It's like loaded with
Um,
sugar, super bad.
yeah. I posted this relatively short documentary if you guys want to check it out. It's like 18 minutes long. But yeah, looks like the key stat here is someone in Mexico City will drink 2 liters of soft drinks per day.
Oh my God.
Uh and Coca-Cola is a great solvent, by the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
Really?
whiteboards.
it has many industrial uses. Let's review the list since maybe you guys aren't familiar.
Oh my
Industrial
goodness.
uses. Um,
So you
uh,
can use it to clean stuff.
we got like rusty bolts and stuff and nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grease and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's a weak solvent. It will
My
break down
goodness.
stuff.
And people
Um,
drink it.
yeah.
Imagine what that would do to their body.
Eat your teeth up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
It removes rust.
Oh my God.
Um,
You know what else removes all that stuff? Is the
Yeah.
acid you buy for swimming pools. It comes in these gallon bottles, and if you ever want to clean your toilet, just go to the hardware store and buy the acid
yeah.
for
Uric acid.
Uh,
What is it called? What was it, Dave? What is it? Acid what?
Muriatic acid.
full
did he
acid.
Acid.
Muriatic
yeah,
acid.
muriatic. That's
Uric.
Muriatic acid. To clean
Mm.
the toilet?
It'll clean everything.
I mean, it's like 10 times stronger than whatever
Then
pour
bleach?
into your toilet to
Um,
take out scale. It's
Oh,
really, really strong.
uh,
The stuff I buy is the 50% diluted.
mhm.
oh.
It's like $13 for 2 gallons of just gnarly shit you don't want anybody to drink.
Good for silverware. What
W-
else? Cleans the
Wow.
toilet, like we talked
Oh my
about.
goodness. Seriously.
Strips paint. That's always good.
Wow.
Eradicates debris from car engines. Yep.
Hey, you want to have a
Wow.
clean colon? You know what to have, what to eat.
There you go.
That could be true.
Um,
Might not be a bad idea, right?
there's the vodka diet too, where you can lose 8 days in a week. American soda is the entry toxin in other countries. Health medical insurance companies enter shortly thereafter. Yeah. All right, cool. And we can't talk about so many soft drinks without looking at Coke as well. So KO, and since we're going to talk about Buffett, we should take a snapshot. How is Grandpa's portfolio doing? It's seen better days. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like a normal trading day. What is front fall? 21%? Okay, yeah. A little bit anemic, but yeah. Yeah, kind of boring. Sideways-ish. Not really, but what's Pepsi? Pepsi. Okay. Yeah, I don't trade Pepsi. Pepsi, almost the same curve, literally the same curve. Wow. Someone's pairs trading both of these for sure.
Mhm.
Cool.
Which one is more popular, Pepsi or Coke?
I think it depends on the country. Globally, let's see. Pepsi versus Coke.
Coke, big time.
I think Coke's,
Coke is probably more
Yeah,
popular, right?
Coke is
but
everywhere.
they all sell everything else. I mean, Pepsi is not. Pepsi sells a lot of water.
Yeah. Dasani water sucks, relatively speaking. Let's see. Decades old rivalry. Let's see. By market cap, Coke is bigger.
86 billion.
I believe Pepsi is more into foods as well and diversified out of soft drinks. And then Coca-Cola's gone the other route, which is to become more vertically integrated in production and whatnot. So they're gobbling up the entire value chain and Pepsi's widening it. So kind of a different strategy.
What else does Coca-Cola do except like for the drink? Do they make other kind of food, other kind of drinks, or?
They sell the syrup, and if you've worked in the restaurant industry, you'll learn that the cup or the ice costs more than the Coke syrup, which is kind of shocking. Hell, the water costs more. And what else do they do?
When was it?
I've never heard that the ice costs more.
The ice costs more. Yeah.
The ice costs more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you ever run like food and beverage, Coke is effectively free. It's the surrounding things like the lid, the cup, and the ice cost more than the fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
When was it introduced? When was it like first?
1886, and it had cocaine,
Ah,
the good stuff.
837 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And the overlap of this versus private equity is a bit shocking. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Okay. So yeah, kind of a sleepy trade. Let's move on. Where are we?
Is it true that they have Coke inside the Coca-Cola?
They did. They used to. I
So
mean,
make people addicting to it, right?
yeah, but I think it was faintly light. And you could buy pure cocaine and heroin and morphine back then, so it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
before like 1920. I don't remember the dates, but it was a
Uh,
really long time ago.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, cool. So cool. So let's go down our news cycle. So Henry Kissinger died, and this dude is 100 years old. Like he just went to like if you remember, like Nixon went to China in the 70s, and Kissinger was Secretary of State then, and he just went to China again this year. I think like 3 months ago or 4 months ago in the summer, if you guys vaguely recall that. Um, and he's sliced and diced the world up. God, the bosses that he really works for has been horrendous. How do I not get blacklisted for saying it? I mean, yeah, it's just the writing's on the wall. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. But yeah, I thought this was a good quote from Anthony Bourdain.
Mhm.
I'm not quite as familiar with the Vietnamese and the Cambodian side, but yeah. Um, he has like this is his most famous quote that I remember.
Wow.
And this reflects a very common worldview,
Wow.
which is like to go back to the Indian setup here. Again, I'm not Indian, but there's the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, is it the Vaishyas, and the laborers, and then the Dalits on the bottom. And then
Mhm.
a lot of priestly class look at like warriors and like the military classes as like just like this, as dumb pawns for foreign policy. And yeah, it's unfortunately kind of true, uh in a sense that like I don't know if you've met like serious soldiers or fighters, like they have to do it. It's a calling, it's a compulsion. It's kind of hard to explain.
Mhm.
But yeah. And then there's folks who are born just to rule over those folks. Like manipulation is their go-to MO, instead of like, you know, let's run 5 miles, lift weights, and shoot things. Like that's not, it's a different mentality. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting overlap. And Kissinger definitely represents the ruling priestly class for sure. Yeah. Not a good guy. And here's a death count. Again, I'm not familiar with all of these atrocities, but yeah, not good. A lot of Vietnamese, Cambodians, Bangladeshis, lots of shenanigans. Cool. All right. Next war criminal, Charles Munger. Not a good guy at all either. If you read Buffett's book Snowball, you will have an instantly very bad perception of this guy and his business partner. But there's still good lessons to be learned. So Munger taught Buffett the power of insurance flow. Like he ran the insurance arms himself. And Buffett was super cheap. He hung out with what was it? Who was this Columbia University professor that wrote the security analysis? Benjamin Graham. I don't want to get Kanye, but let's say there's a certain cultural uh, aspect to investment banking in New York, and Buffett learned it a little bit too well, and it was really cheap. And then Munger got him out of that mode and told him like, well, to summarize security analysis really quick, it's basically buy companies with more cash on hand than their actual book value. So it's the used cigar butt approach, and it's like a very cowardly corporate raider, if that makes sense. Like Gary Owens, who's this comedian, he makes a joke like he was recruited for the military, and the Marines were like, "Hey, we're the few, the proud, we go in first." And he's like, "Oh no, I want to go in second or third. I don't want to be first." So like, and then he actually joined the Navy ultimately. So to me, that's kind of like the used cigar butt, mentality. And just in terms of like personality, he kind of reminds me of Joe Kennedy, if you kind of know the Kennedy dynasty. This is JFK's dad.
Mhm.
And JFK's grandfather was the original, like, shotgun toting gunslinger moving Canadian whiskey. And his son was the first, Joe Kennedy was the attempt to take the White House. Like he became US ambassador to England, and he had the same problems that took down JFK, which was too many women and a lot of drugs. Like he loved methamphetamines. So yeah, this guy was banging interns, secretaries, like every day, all day in his offices. It was nuts. And his sons continued the curse. But yeah,
Wow.
these aren't great guys to begin with. So I'll just be careful. Cool. And this is the first article I prepared for this week. Not quite the same scope, but yes, we have a shrimp fiasco with Red Lobster, and I'm not sure if Red Lobster is public. Let's find out. It is. Holy cow! That's right, Darden
Which part
Restaurant.
that?
All right, we have this in our watch list. Let me share that with you guys.
But wait a minute. Darden owns a whole bunch of things. How can they be blaming everything on Red Lobster?
It's their losing asset, but yeah.
Well, it's their excuse of the week.
Yes, and it's in our type 2 diabetes watch list. Let me share this with you guys as well, so you can have this. Type 2 diabetes. Okay, cool.
I mean, the other excuse they used to use was the salty water at the Italian place, right?
Olive Garden?
Yeah, they own Olive Garden too.
Yeah, Olive
Mhm,
Garden
yeah.
is interesting. They allow the corporate franchising, which is like if you can imagine like there's one West Coast one that owns all of the macaroni grills and Olive Gardens in the West Coast. The one in Milpitas rolls up to that same parent group. But yeah, just corporate franchising, and these guys do a lot of that. And let's
Is
look
that Yum Brands?
yes. There's Yum and then Yum C, right? So here's Darden, which has the lower end tier of restaurants. I haven't looked at the food and beverage sector in a bit. Just for contrast, let's compare that to like cheesecake, which I know a little bit better. So the curves look the same. Even Starbucks follows the same trend a little bit. So yeah. I think food and beverage is not doing well or extremely volatile. And if the canary in the coal mine in China is any hint of the minimalist consumption patterns of a devastated populace, then this will not be good. Okay, cool. Let's get back to our articles. Okay, Sunday air travel broke travel records. It even broke pre-COVID levels. So that's a good thing. But we still have a ground traffic controller shortage and a pilot shortage. So can we sustain levels at this rate or travel? Not really. And the article itself links to the air traffic control and pilot issue if you guys want to take a look. And vaccination compliance has stymied that quite a bit. But let's look at the market overall, and let's look at JETS, which is the domestic U.S. Aircraft or U.S. airlines, the ETF. And yeah, this has been a perfect -1 slope here. This is like a Ross level curve. It's just perfect. So yeah, not a good trend. And let's look at our airlines really quick. What's our watch list? It's piano, yeah. Crashing like a grand piano. So we got Boeing, Airbus, and we got Delta. Let's look at Delta. Looks like they're our domestic leader here. Yeah, curve is exactly the same. We're just touching the 200-day moving average. So we'll see how that shakes up. But yeah, not having a good time. All right, cool. And let's continue with our domestic news items. And let's see. I wasn't sure if I should include this or not, but being our group, I thought I couldn't not include it. So speaking of airplane news, there was a male passenger on a 5-hour Russian flight that was allegedly the victim of oral rape from a 29-year-old blonde woman named Valeria, who insisted on blowing him after departing from Turkey. So it was from Anatolia to Moscow. So she went on a rampage. I believe she was inebriated. And she raped her next door male neighbor in front of children. Don't worry, there's no video of this, but apparently this guy allegedly rebuffed Valeria's advances only to stop resisting a short time later. And then flight attendants let him finish before moving the intoxicated woman away, and then she tried to bribe them with US dollars. So your de-dollarization worries are unfounded, obviously. But yes, this happened apparently. So yes. And with that, we have to pivot to like, what's the trade here, right? We have to think of Rick's Cabaret, which is headquartered in Dallas, and think of all the other women that are in the same line of work. Apparently all the freaky ones are in Turkey, but there's hope yet for everyone in the lap dancing profession. So looks like Rick's Cabaret has seen better days as well. But yeah, in case you didn't know, there was a strip club that's IPO'd like 2 decades ago, no less. Yeah, that's Rick's Cabaret here. All right. So yes, enough irreverent memes here. But yeah, this happened. What would we do in this situation? God knows, but it happened to somebody. All right. All right, back to news. Okay, Black Friday sales figures. All right, it was not good. Let's look at in detail. All right, so it seems like the more aggressive the discounts were, the weaker the company. So let's see, we have a nice spectrum here. Changes in Black Friday sales, year-over-year growth on the y-axis, and X is share of sales on Black Friday. So I'd imagine the more stable businesses are on the left clump of the spectrum here, and the worst ones are on the right. Okay. Black Friday share of sales has been declining year over year. Is Capri Holdings even public? I don't even know what this company is. It is. Oh, Michael Kors? Oh, is that what it is? CPRI stock? Maybe I need a better chart. So let's go to mine. Okay, let's see. 90 days been bad. It's all over the place. Gapped up on last earnings. Very sideways overall. Doesn't look great. Wait, so this is Michael Kors and what else? Handbags, shoes, watches. It owns Versace? What? I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, yeah. Jimmy Choo, Michael Kors, and Versace. I didn't know that. Learned something new today. Okay. Like, do you want to have a French overlord for your luxury goods or an American one? It's like, take your pick. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's Black Friday. If you want to read more of the details, paste that in the chat. And let's go to Cyber Monday and work our way down the chain here. All right. So we're seeing a lot of the buy now, pay later craze, and we have a couple of tickers that used to do that a lot, right? We can look at the buy now, pay later stocks to trade.
Affirm is a big one.
Affirm is a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
Upstart, that's right. Those are a little bit out of favor from the high-flying 2020 days, but let's take a look. All right, here's Upstart. Let's see. It hasn't been a fun ride, looks like, for a lot of bag holders. Yeah, pretty volatile still. It's playing with the 200, it's playing footsie with the 200-day moving average. And let's look at Affirm. Affirm having a much better time, especially in the recent moment. And let's see if there's any live news that is relevant here. The verbiage trade higher, blah, blah, blah. Looks like there's a lot of analysts improving their perception. I think this is kind of reactive to the Black Friday sales figures, but this does look like a growing sector. So we should keep an eye on this then. And yeah, that does look very vertical to me. Very strong inflows on the 90-day indicator here. Let's go to the option analytics and see if the put call ratio confirms what we're seeing. It's not. Wow. Some divergent ideas here. So if I look at this, I would say it's very bearish and probably overbought. So yeah, getting some conflicting news here. I'll have to see how it holds above the moving average. But yeah, interesting candidate here. Cool. And let's shift to our next. Oh, let's go back to the article in case there's any good charts. Anything else? We can skip that. We got the 2 sector leaders. But yeah, they had the Google trend search here of buy now, pay later, which is spiking. Interest by region, a lot of the poorer states, no surprise there. The catfish regions. Yeah, okay. And let's continue down our list here. And what has been doing well? There was another article that saw that over half of the United States households are armed now. I think the number is like 52% as of 2023. And that's just the guns that are registered that the government knows about. For the rest of us who lost everything else in that tragic boating accident, it's just a total shame. But yes, we had almost 250,000 background checks on Black Friday. And therefore, what's a trade? Oh, here's the historical chart of background checks. So when disproportionate segments of the population light targets on fire, white people get scared and buy guns. So you can see that in the chart here. And let's go to our watch list and see how to play this. And does Warren have a watch list for guns? I'm glad you asked. In fact, we call it, this is a Doom and StarCraft reference. We call it BFG for BGH, which is a big fucking gun for big game hunters. It's a game reference. You don't have to worry about it. Let me export this. Wait, where's the list? B. Wait, here we go. Okay, export. Okay, cool. Guns list. Okay, so if you were to play this, blah 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 blah. Who's having earnings today? American Outdoor Brands. I think this is a gun seller, I believe. Let me double check. This does sound really familiar. This got rebranded a couple times, which is why there's a little bit of confusion. American Outdoor Brands. Let me just double check. I thought it was like Big Five or something. Or is it Dick's Sporting Goods or some major? Oh, they own Smith and Wesson, and then they sold it. Oh, okay. Oh, formerly known as Smith and Wesson. Oh, that's a shame. I am a huge Smith and Wesson fan. So yeah, that's kind of sad. Okay, looks like they don't have it anymore. Okay.
Yeah, but nobody's going to buy a stock named Smith and Wesson. But if you give it another name, then they're not going to care.
But they divested already. Let me see. It's split up, right? Smith and Wesson brands separately, and then American Outdoor Brands. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's spun out. So I guess. Oh wait, Smith and Wesson retains their ticker. Let's go back to that.
Now I'm getting confused.
Yeah, okay. So they're Smith and Wesson brand. So they've separated completely. They're both tickers are live. Okay. And how is Smith and Wesson doing? Near term, it is okay, slightly upward, but very volatile. Yeah. And investing in like going long gun stuff has never worked out, even for a fanboy like me. It's just a weird market. It doesn't move like it should. Um, there's a lot of government interference, like the amount of scale for like like a Department of Homeland Security order versus even all the business in collective California. Yeah, it's a different scale of business. Okay, and what did Flav say? Nash car payment is 1,200, up from 700 before. Subprime lenders seeing 50% drop in loan volume. Absolutely. Subprime auto default rates. Again, we had that old benchmark from 2010s, which was if it hits 12%, this sector implodes. But we've seen it dance with that. Excuse me. We've seen it dance with that number a lot. So let's see. January 23, 6% were delinquent, compared to 0.28% for prime borrowers. In September, it jumped to 6.11%. Okay, so that's where we are. Yeah, if it hits 12%, this sector melts down, and we have a continued liquidity crisis that goes upstream pretty quickly. Okay. Subprime borrowers held an average rate of 11.72% for new cars and 19% for used. Oh my God. Where is Rob? He would push back and say, these are reasonable rates of return for capital given the volatile nature of the borrower. Okay. All good. Oh, we got Michael from Oregon. Welcome, welcome.
There's a couple YouTube channels of tow truck drivers that specialize in repos. It's kind of fun.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Let's check out, what did Flav post here? The car dealership guy. Oh, this is awesome. Thanks, Flav.
This guy has a 500,000 following, but he has some inside info he puts on all the time.
God, shout out to the Microsoft Word, fonts
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Oh man. This is so cool. Car insurance premiums in Florida. Wow. This is really cool. And if you guys didn't know, the correct way to buy a new car is through a car broker. You get wholesale rates, you skip the BS, and the car is delivered to you. You just sign paperwork, and the guy calls his own Uber and drives away. If you guys need a contact for that, let me know.
Broker.
Car brokers, yeah, because
Yeah.
then they just deal with the fleet manager of the dealership, or even if you want to buy a used car, it doesn't matter.
I'm curious. My
And you pay them like a commission or something for
no,
looking.
it's built into the price. So
Oh.
but the thing is, they're a wholesaler, so they talk to what's called the let me just pull up the old place I used to work at. So I used to work at this dealership, and so let me tell you, let me break down the car dealership hustle. So we affectionately in the industry used to call it stealerships, because you get robbed at dealerships, whether that was for MSRP or at the service center. Like, it was all bad. And let's see. The general manager used to be the founding CEO's son, and we used to make fun of him. We called him a PhD. Papa has a dealership.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works, it works. And I used to work here when I was in college, and these mofos are still here. Like I still know these names. But anyway, okay, so you want to talk to the fleet manager, and you can do that directly yourself, or you can hire a car wholesaler do it. And a car wholesaler will have better rates. And they have like a MLS equivalent for all of inventory across all dealerships. And they just scan it and then find what you want at your price point. And if it's all cash, then it's even easier with the wholesalers. And then if there's financing, it can be done. It just takes a little bit longer, but yeah, it still moves very efficiently. So I did this from my old work. Covalent metrology.
So what were you doing?
I was a valet. I would park your
Oh,
car very nicely and
okay.
hope the Asians would give me tips, which rarely happened. Yeah.
So
Uh,
how do you find a car wholesaler? I mean, a car broker.
you can look him up, or you can just talk to my guy. I have his info saved. I used him to buy the car for covalent metrology. This is a metrology shop. So like if you were at like Apple or wherever and you needed to scan something at the nanoscale and your own labs were backed up or there's so much political BS that you couldn't get work done on time, you would outsource your work to someone like covalent metrology. And we had like SEMs and electron microscopes and X-ray scanners just waiting to do work. And yeah, so I bought a Prius, and then we were picking up local samples that way. So that was cool. But yeah, sorry, getting off topic, but yeah, car wholesalers are the way to go.
Hmm.
And yeah, and like retail is for suckers, you know. And we can see that in the trading realm as well as other stuff. Like you never want to pay full price. And if you guys know like Amr Khan, our other trading friend, he whatchamacallit, uh he has a side hobby of being a travel
Travel
agent.
agent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he gets the best deals for like the domestic market is really competitive, but if you're trying to like figure out like a world trek internationally, then his stuff is really helpful. So if you guys need to get plugged into Amr, he's really cool too. Um and he runs a different trading call in the morning. Cool. Where are we? Oh, okay. More domestic news. Okay, we're almost halfway. All right, stock market correction. And we talked about this during our review of the Stock Traders Almanac. And let's look at the potential of a Santa Claus rally in light of 2018, which was a disastrous December. And this article had a good chart of that. So let's pull that up really quick. I just want to set expectations. I know there's a lot of folks and talking heads indicating that it's going to be neutral or bullish, but being a good bear, just gotta look for the other look for the other side of the coin. But yeah, here was 2018 Santa Claus rally in green here. Let's make that a little bit bigger. All right, here we go. So got SPX here. Yeah, on average, the S&P goes up whatever percent every year. I mean, these are some rough years, but yeah, on average 6%. And then what was inflation and to money supply explosion? Okay, then this becomes the real rates of return go negative pretty quickly. But yeah, this is a scary graph here. So
that was all QT. I don't. Most people didn't understand at the time. The 2000 February big VIX pop was QT kicking in, and the whole year was that, and people acted like they didn't understand why it was happening. The world was going to explode. Well, it was based on the Fed pulling a lot of money out of the supply.
yeah,
That was a great year to be trading,
yeah.
and a great Christmas day.
I don't remember. I have to look at my logs. But yeah, this was a good article. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Got lots of stuff to cover. Surprise, surprise. Disney's not having a good time, and we can skip the noise and let's just go straight to the charts. Performing pedophilia and its variants is not good for business. And despite this gap up, I think their days are numbered. Okay. And who's the other woke train that's not doing well? Target had a good earnings, but we'll see how that shakes up. And then who's the other one? Budweiser? Yeah. Oh, Bud's had a reversal of fortune. Interesting. That is quite the reversal. That doesn't seem organic to me. Okay. Any other woke items? New York Times. Oh, that's actually doing well. Okay. But yeah, let's see. Disney's having a problem with DeSantis, yada yada. Okay, whatever. Okay, cool. As a wannabe member of the 1,000 pound rice club, rice prices are really high. What did Flav post?
Yeah, I remember that because
U.S. money supplies falling 2% last
it,
2 years. So just 2%.
it doesn't seem high. I've been watching it.
Wait, this or rice?
Rise.
Okay, so
yeah.
this is showing deflationary items, like or deflationary winds showing up, and deflation is definitely the big fear in China. I think it will be short-lived with their money printing abilities, but yeah, stagflation of the 70s might be a repeat. But yeah, here's rice. I mean, we've talked about some other key items, right? Like India is no longer shipping its high quality short grain rice internationally anymore. If you guys recall this, we talked about this a month ago. It's their basmati rice, I think, that they stopped shipping. Yes, they only ship the bad stuff.
I
Oh, this is
thought
from August. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So they banned exporting non-basmati white rice. So yeah, everyone's hoarding. China is hoarding half the grain reserves of the planet, and they're short on rice, ironically. So yeah, and rice
China will flip if they starve their people.
Yeah, but yeah. Can we are there rice futures?
Yes, I don't.
No one trains rice futures. Rough rice.
Yeah.
That's so cool. 1736. Uh, what's the spread like? Oh, okay. Oh, it's options, of course. That's cool. Let's look at how is rice being priced into the future? Let's see. Do we see convergence of data? We do. Oh wow. I mean, these aren't the most data points, but the price is being slowly bid up. Okay. That's cool.
So that's kind of like inventory.
Yeah.
And then
So yeah, rice and beans, guys. Rice and beans. Okay, cool. Okay, we'll talk about rice. Let's talk about real estate. Oh, we'll talk about Tesla and the Cybertruck in just a bit, Fluff. Let's see. US pending home sales. Let's talk real estate. We looked at some REITs a couple of times recently, and we're looking at year-over-year sales figures down 6.6%. And I got China figures for the equivalent era, which is actually down 9.1%. And that's with Chinese doctored figures. So you can imagine how bad it really is. Let's see. Pending home sales index dropped to a new record low. I wonder why. The trend in pending home sales is following the mortgage rate with a 1-month lag and is set to fall further. Yep. And of course, what's the trade? Let's go to the charts. Here's the home builder index, ITB, and it's holding on for dear life. But let's see if the high 10-year yields will cause a problem. People are still buying the dip, looks like. Okay. And who are some other players? There's like REITs, there's local home builders themselves. But yeah, looks like everyone's on an upspin at the moment. And that's okay. Cool. And let's look at some job figures. And this will always be good for home sales, I'm sure. And this number keeps edging higher. And let's see. California's having some volatility week to week. This doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All these doctored figures from the US Bureau of Labor. Okay. Whatever. Let's skip this. Okay. US energy stocks. We talked about this a little bit on our sector rotation analysis, but yes, US energy and oil and EV stuff have not had a good time recently. Let's see. Oil stocks outpace clean energy. And yeah, ESG stuff is not paying out very well. And we can see this in its extremes on the other side of the ocean. So let's look at like Chinese EVs have been a disaster. So like NIO, this is an unmitigated loss. And you think like there's some 200 plus EV companies in China. I think there's only like 150 among left like today. And the top 5 are all unprofitable. So you can imagine what the bottom ecosystem looks like. So yeah, I mean, being a state-sponsored business has its ups and downs. So let's see, this has earnings coming out on December the 5th. And that should be a interesting day. And let's see what other EV plays we can look at.
Is
Oh, here we go.
BYD public?
BYD is not, unfortunately. Of the public players, there's only like Li Auto, NIO, and that's about it for pure Chinese stocks. Yeah, so we only have 2 Chinese players to mess with. But let me
So
share.
Buffett deals with the stuff that's private.
He likes to, yeah, like from his PetroChina deals in the past to his other stuff. Yeah, he likes that discretion. And let me export this list for you guys. EV and power.
Did you see the fun news about Tesla?
Which one? Which one? The
Well,
truck? The truck?
The
no,
truck
they
Twitter.
they have the ability to summon the car to where you currently are.
Mhm.
And so someone did that at an airport, and the car ran into a $3.5 million corporate jet.
Oh, that's
Because-
old news. That's old news. Yeah, we talked about that before. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
It hit a
How
jet.
long ago was that?
Thought
This
it
is
was
like in
pretty
the summer.
recent.
This is in the summer. Yeah. It was an auto drive feature, yeah, and it hit the tail. Yeah.
And that's because large objects like aircraft were not in its training data set.
That's right. We talked about it this year. Yeah, it's in the trading notes somewhere. I think in the early summer or something like that. Tesla
I didn't remember it happened that
hits
long
jet.
ago.
It was a Model 3, if I remember correctly. It ran into the tail. And okay, I think the marketing team has a Warren Wong there and it's suppressing the SEO
Yeah.
value. So it's okay. I can do that too. It's all good. All right, cool. Yeah, so the green revolution is turning red. No surprises there. There's a lot of EV inventory building up. And I read news that for Q3, General Motors only sold like 20,000 EVs. And that's only like 1,600 dealerships. And someone did the math and said that's like 4 EVs a month for some dealerships. And some of them are selling 0. So you can imagine GM dealerships in the Rust Belt and whatnot are selling 0 electrified Hummers and stuff. So yeah, no surprises here, but yeah. Okay, let's fast forward. And to add insult to injury, while they're having ridiculous labor disputes, supply chain collapse, and horrible sales, GM thinks it's a great time to raid the coffers, buy back stock, raise a dividend, and yeah, just unload all the money. So the grift continues. I don't know what else to say. Like they're paying off the Teamsters guys, the old Chicago outfit leftovers, and it's just a nightmare. So yeah, GM will have a hard time. So yeah, let's see if that's being well received in the marketplace. And what used to be good for General Motors used to be good for America, but not so much recently. Looks like the marketplace does like this, but it's a little bit nervous. I mean, if you're going to burn all of the cash, do the taxpayers get a refund first?
They're still trading below their IPO price.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, that's
36. I believe they went public the second time at 36.
Wow.
that's shareholders' equity returns right there. Oh yeah, here's BYD. Yeah, there's no options. Yeah. How would you have to do you have to literally do a short sale. Yeah, I've never done that. I've only read about it. Okay. That sounds
You
complicated.
never
Got to
shorted
be
a
able to
stock.
borrow it first.
I've never shorted stock, but yeah, you have to do
Neither
it here.
have I. I want to do it. I want to know how to do it too.
You need lots of like ridiculous amounts of capital. It's extremely capital
You do?
inefficient. Yeah, it's extremely capital inefficient, like compared to options and futures.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm confused. What are you saying?
Shorting stock that you don't own.
Yeah, I have done it many times. I lived on shorts. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
How do
yeah,
you do it?
you make them button say -1, you click it. Well, I mean, for easy to borrow things, it's you just click. The hard to borrow stuff is where it all becomes a big mess. You don't want to trade where all the mosquitoes are eating everybody up.
Mhm.
That's why I didn't like the news stocks, because it was just like living in a swarm of mosquitoes, and they'll eat you just as happy as they'd be eating everybody else.
Mhm.
What about the capital requirements? Do you actually need to have a lot of funds in your account to do that? Let's say if you want to short Tesla,
You need a lot of funds.
I mean,
you do?
you're covering
Each
everything like
stock
to the
is going to
penny.
be its own rate. First of all,
Mhm.
you have to pay interest. Like if
Okay.
at one point AMC, you'd have to pay 500% annually
Oh my God.
to borrow it and short it.
Uh-huh.
So that's one charge, and the second is how much margin they want to charge you. So for Tesla is going to be one rate, and for like a tiny junky stock is they want more. So because they expect it to maybe pump up, and then you'd have to be able to cover with cash. So there's
Mhm.
not one answer.
So when you actually put the trade on, will the platform show you the margin
Yeah,
requirements
they say how much cash you need.
Yeah,
you need to have?
it's just a buying power thing.
The buying power, yes.
Yeah.
And at any point they can call you and undo it. So
Right.
I did that Vietnamese car thing, right? I wrote a free calendar. I was able to get into a free calendar, and what do you know? Overnight they assigned me a short position on the short thing. So at 8 a.m., who calls me? My first ever margin call, not because of money, but they say, oh, we actually don't have the short to give you. So you have to close that within 90 minutes otherwise, right? So I could not close it with my long and the shares. So what I had to do was my first ever exercise. So I did an early exercise of my long to undo the short. So then I got out for free flat, right? But if I hadn't done that, they would have closed me out in an unfavorable way. So it's always best that you close it, not them. But yeah, with a short position, they can take it away at any time if it's not available.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to liquid stocks.
Well, let's say, for example, Tesla. Okay. Let's say
Just do the options, Wani. Do call
Yeah.
options short. I mean,
Is it better?
Stay far
Yeah.
away from the money.
Because
Mhm.
you're talking about catastrophic risk here. Like you could lose your bankroll
Yeah,
and
Tesla
still
can
owe
pump
money.
10% in one day because of
Mhm.
something Elon says. So then it's a huge. Yeah,
Mhm.
I wouldn't mess with it.
This is almost as dangerous as the car salesman or the real estate agent telling you, "Hey, don't worry, just sign with these high rates and you can refinance later." That's a common hustle, and especially for like, new first time homeowners. Like they don't understand
Mhm.
the like, what's it called, the assessed value and how that's calculated at the local level. And if you're underwater, uh there's other requirements to still qualify for loans and credit. It's quite complicated, but yeah. What did Flop say here? Let's see. BYD. Yeah, people are still positive. I mean, but you have to look at the analysts here. Like, I mean,
Yeah, they probably own the stock.
yeah. And I mean, never mind their last names, but like who they work for, like it's game
Yeah.
over. Yeah. They look like me, but they don't talk like me, so be careful. Um, all right. Okay, cool. Cybertruck. Oh, let's go back to the article. So yes, people are selling the reservations. Let's see if we can find some. That'd be hilarious. eBay's Tesla Cybertruck reservation. Okay.
That picture with the frontal view of the truck looked sort of like a giant Roomba.
Right here?
No, the one that was further up,
Oh, let's see.
or well, forgotten where it was, but
Roomba.
oh, no, that's not it.
It does. You're getting comparable performance. Let's see. Looks like the bids are improving. 69.69. 7,500. Um, I think you're not allowed to do this, right? Elon's really clamped down on this
Oh
scalping.
yeah, yeah, he catches you, you'll never buy another Tesla again.
Yeah, you'll get blacklisted. And can you imagine the repair rates for this? Like they can barely figure
I
out
bet
Model
a lot of
3.
them are going to be total loss. So you get an fender bender, it's going to cost more to fix
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's one big piece.
yeah.
So they're going to go to the salvage auctions.
Yeah, like this will not hold its value like a DeLorean at all. Okay. But yeah, let's see. And remember Larry Ellison's weird comment? Like this will be this police car of the future. It's like what? Uh that weirdo in Hawaii. Okay. Prices are still TBD. Let's see if we can find it on the website since supposedly it's delivering. Let's see if we can build a car.
Sacramento County Sheriff has Mustangs.
Oh,
Yeah, they
the
look
electric
really
ones.
sporty. It's
Yeah.
pretty surprising. I saw them on the freeway a couple times.
Okay. I don't see the Cybertruck, so oh wait, I see the sub menu though. Oh, what? Literally 12 noon? I guess well wait, let me set a timer. 34 minutes. We'll spin back here at the appropriate moment. Okay. All right, we'll come back. Okay, let's continue with our domestic news.
See, that was the rumor right there.
Yeah. On your
Surprise!
list of articles.
And why is the VIX 13? I don't know. But yes. What's the Russian military group again? The mercenaries that are also in West Africa? I forgot their name.
Wagner
Wagner,
Group.
yeah. This was always the real goal of the Wagner group. But yeah.
The real goal of everybody. I don't think any of the little green kids fucking know what's going on in the world. Oil is life.
Yeah. You don't have diesel. I mean, if you don't have diesel, you don't have like industrial production at all. Okay. But yeah, we'll have to watch how this unfolds. But yeah, this should be fun. Okay. And let's see. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. We looked at this in depth the other day. We looked at the sweet and sour levels, which reminded us of sweet and sour chicken. And it looks like the weekly change has not improved much at all. And let's see. And the holdup is also people are not returning the barrels for transport. And they seem somewhat proprietary, which
Barrels.
yeah. So looks like folks are not playing nicely with the cartel rules. So yeah. Kind of a dumb problem to have, but
Beer
sure,
barrel.
whatever. No one wants to refill the petroleum reserve at these prices. What, 70 something a barrel? And we looked at this before, right? The average unit cost for the entire reserve is only like $29 a barrel. So yeah, it's kind of a sad situation. Okay.
You knew that was going to be a scam. They were always going to lower the quality and
Yeah.
deliver at the last minute, never deliver.
Socialize all of the costs, privatize the gains.
Yep.
The American way. Okay, let's look at this. Elliott Management dropping $1 billion into Phillips 66 sees a huge upside. And yeah, that's interesting. So is this bullish for oil? Probably. Okay.
I don't even know what stock symbol Phillips is.
Whose cash machine is that?
Phillips 66 stock. PSX. Investors are very pleased with the large capital allocation. Usually investors are not thrilled, but I think the long bag holders for oil are a different breed. 9% up for the day. What call ratio isn't where I thought it would be, but that should be okay. But yeah, people are buying into it.
A lot of people in the population are starting to realize that ESG is not going to work. The whole greenification is
Really?
the message is falling apart. Well, I've known this forever. I will always say oil is life to anybody. It's just to piss them off, and then I'll explain to them why it is.
Yeah.
But no, the common man is starting to realize that this is not going to work. The message is finally getting out.
Yay. We'll have to move out to California before they ban all of the combustion engines, though. All right. All right, so here's a new way to smuggle drugs that I didn't know about. I heard about, like dot paper over acid and whatnot, but I didn't know you could even do this with ecstasy. So you isolate, let me see. Ecstasy is speed and Molly or MDMA. So let's see how they did this. He saturated whole pages of legal papers with ecstasy and synthetic marijuana. Oh shit. This is K2. Synthetic marijuana is devastating. It will some of the stuff I've seen is worse than the trank stuff, which turns people into zombies. Yeah, you see synthetic marijuana, there's dead bodies in the next sentence. This is kind of like when they tried to make imitation melange in the Dune universe, if you guys are into that. They made it at the was it the Talaxu and Ixian planets, and it killed everybody. Yeah. So let's see. Drug saturated papers or pages. Do you just eat this? I need to ask my drug dealer friends like what this is. And those guys are extremely pro crypto for obvious reasons. And with that, let's pivot to Coinbase and see how our currencies are shaping up. And the ETF has not dropped yet for Bitcoin, but everyone's chomping at the bit for it. So let's see. Bitcoin's nicely at 37.7, up 10% for the month. Where's Ethereum? Oh, nice. 2044. Let's look at the year. Wow, what a resurrection here. Lazarus could not
Wow,
even compete with
123
that. Yeah. Um,
doing.
incredible. And is
Are
our next
normal people mining anymore?
no, I believe that is well, it doesn't scale well, right? And this was what, the 11th halving industry or halving anniversary this week for Bitcoin?
Next year
Next
in
year. Okay.
April, about March or April.
Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know of any friends that are mining, and my ops have stopped long ago.
Well, you think about it, somebody is off the grid and has a river next to them, they could pump out energy all the time and make crypto, I guess. Or that's sort of stuck in the back of my head.
Yeah, I mean, just with the way GPUs are priced, it still doesn't really work very well. I mean,
Yeah.
I had free energy at my old workplace, and we were running our miners, but it was also breaking down like crazy and catching on fire, and it's complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not worth it for small time miners, you know.
The
It's not
correct
worth it.
answer is just buy Nvidia stock. It's probably a better way and more
Yeah.
profitable. Go
That's
direct,
right.
right? Just go direct.
Use of
Yeah.
capital. Yeah.
Yeah, just go direct. I mean, and Nvidia is just keeping everyone's hopes and alive or hopes and dreams alive in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
All my techie friends are like, God, my Alibaba stock is sucking, but my Nvidia stock is great. And I'm just like, oh my God. And we can't talk about Nvidia without thinking about TSM, our other semiconductor homie. Yeah, they need Arizona online as fast as possible. That
Wait,
will,
nothing. I just
yeah. All right, let's.
Arizona Online, what's that?
Oh, I mean, there's new foundries. The biggest one is in Arizona, and they're trying to get India and Vietnam online as well, but that'll take another half a decade.
they can't find workers that are capable of doing the job.
And water,
And yeah, and I guess water.
yeah.
You know, the water
No.
thing, there's this huge amount of water that's going to this farmer group that's growing alfalfa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
they're Saudis. They're our friends.
well, whatever. I don't care who they are. It's you know, if you want to go after somebody, let's go after somebody who matters. You know, that's the whoever's chewing up water to grow alfalfa. That's stupid.
Well, water
That's
rights is really
China.
contentious. Yeah, I mean, I mean, Dr. Burry was buying almond and walnut farms purely for the water rights to sell that. If you guys remember.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
How do you invest in water? Michael Burry investing in water.
So almond farms and pecan farms and almond farms, they come with water rights, so they get guaranteed levels of production and distribution, and that's sellable. Like those are real pieces of paper and contracts that are, you know, you're stabilizing the market in a way, but you're also giving up your gains. But yeah, you can sell your water in that format, and this is why like you have to remember Dr. Burry is has Asperger's, so he's on the spectrum. So you and I are looking at option chains, and he's looking at stuff like this, California water table levels. He's looking at charts like this. Like we are not the same people. I mean, how many drugs do we need, or alcohol? How many drugs and cups of alcohol do we have to consume to even want to look at groundwater data for California?
I'm crazy, so I want to
that?
look. But I also worked at DWR.
Oh, well, that's a little different. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at well water and water aquifer levels, like it's just a different level of analysis. But yeah, cool. Let's take a quick look at the gold market really quick. We saw an explosion of the gold rate, which has pulled down the gold silver ratio a little bit. So we're at 80, almost 81. And let's look at the gold price itself. So Kitco Gold. Let's go. Oh, they changed the format. Where is gold? Gold. Okay. I need the 60-day, 50-day, 30 days. Okay. All right. So here's the gold price for last 30 days. We saw a bottom in the low 90s here. This was only like 2-3 weeks ago. And now we're at 2040 or 2037 at the moment. Silver's 25.25. Oh, holy cow. All right. So with the sharp increase, we can hypothesize that bullion premiums have also gone up. And let's take a look live and see what those are shaping up to look like. So this is what you will pay, and this is the dealer's markup over what they pay to the wholesaler. And for like the American Eagle market, there's only 10 legal wholesalers in the United States that are contractually allowed to sell their product. Everyone else is buying, has a resell from the wholesaler rate. Okay, so this is 84 over, okay, so gold has gone up just a little bit. It was 3.9% last week. It's 4.1 right now. That's not as bad as it should be. So it's very reasonable. Now the silver market's a little different. There's more gold that you can buy today than silver. So this is the real shortage. This is why when the gold silver ratio swings the other way, all the silver holders will be a lot happier than the gold guys. Okay, so we know it's 25.25. Let's
Where's all the silver going?
it ends up in the landfill because you use it. Silver itself is one of the best conductors of metal known to man. It's a most reflective metal, and yeah, it just gets consumed in microscopic amounts in keyboards and cell phones and all electronics, and it's not worth salvaging or recycling once it's at that diluted level. So most of it ends up in the trash or the actual like landfill. Yeah,
Gold used to do the same thing when it was 35 an ounce.
Yeah, and now it's worth, like, processing motherboards to
Yeah.
scrape back the couple grams of gold.
Right.
Yeah, but silver, we're very far from that stage. But yeah, here we're seeing 8.1%, which is actually better than the 9% we've been seeing. So yeah, maybe this is a weaker market than expected. Okay, cool. Let's see. Ross, Nest has been buying water rights aggressively in the last several years. Oh yeah. I mean, and they've been doing it at a global scale. Like they're looking at a lot more than just California. All right. We got 19 minutes till the Cybertruck launch. So let's get through our Chinese news. A couple of you guys missed last week, so let me pull out last week's notes and just recap for you guys.
One comment about water rights.
Yes.
That was Enron's last scam before they collapsed.
Really?
Really?
Yes, they were going to soak up all the water rights worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And
then what happened?
Well, it collapsed before they could accomplish.
Oh.
But it was all over the Wall Street Journal. This was their next great thing, water rights.
Oh.
Countries should just take it back. At some point, you look at things like that, and there's no reason to ever think twice.
Well, I don't know. We can be pretty stupid when it comes to strategic materials. We forgot all the lessons of World War II.
No, it's by design, Larry. It's by design. We didn't forget anything.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're in the third world and somebody owns all your water rights and your people are thirsty, just take it back.
It's not that easy.
I know it's not that easy, but
with all the
there's a simple answer, and business rules don't matter at some point. When the shit hits the fan. If people thirsty as shit hits the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Just knock down the chain link fence and bring in the trucks, give away the water.
I mean, that's gonna work for the first week, and then month 2, everyone's gonna die of drought and thirst.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there any like water stock that we can trade?
we've looked this up, and the short answer is no.
No?
No.
Okay.
I was going to ask if there are any such liquid stocks.
Liquid stocks.
Are very liquid.
Liquid stocks.
Water stock have to be very liquid.
Yeah, I think the private
Liquid
equity
stocks.
guys hold the water rights close to their vest. They're not going to put the stuff public.
We should rename SVOG to like liquid options or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Isn't it like water futures? Futures on water?
No.
There actually is, but that's
Yeah, there are. They're starting to develop those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've looked this up, but it's not really designed for retail whatsoever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
have
like
to- you have to be
lumber.
a farmer.
Yeah, it's not for us plebeians.
It's like
Um,
trading your wheat field against, it's insurance for your wheat field. And
Yeah, because they're hedging for like production contracts and whatnot. It's a totally different product.
But think about water. Water is most important thing.
Oh no, get real water. Like do you have water stored in your garage? Like I do.
No.
I have how many gallons? 70, 80?
In a 5-gallon bottle?
They're 7-gallon bins. I have these
How long can you store water for?
a
Like
long time.
before it goes bad?
A very long time.
Yeah.
I have these. They're 7 gallons and they're stackable up to like 3 of them.
Wow.
it doesn't go bad.
It doesn't go, water doesn't go bad.
It doesn't go bad. Like I've tested different ways to store it. The bleach method works, but it tastes horrible.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to eat the rice that I cook with it. And you have to like I read that like the correct way to deal with the bleached water is you distill it, but like that adds another layer of production, and the loss rate is really high. Like when I'm doing it in my kitchen, like as a retard. But yeah,
Mhm.
And the energy costs will kill you.
yeah. So
Right.
there's this Nut and Fancy uses this liquid oxygen solution which prevents growth of bacteria. Here, let me
Mhm.
find a video. He does a really like this is the crash course video I watched to learn about water storage. Nut and Fancy water storage. Yeah, this is the video. He
put
breaks
silver coins in it.
like he breaks down his setup, his supplies, his different storage options. It's a really good crash course. This came
Mhm.
out 10 years ago. Yeah.
What about like water bottles that we buy from the store? Can those be kept like long time also?
Yes, but you want to not expose it to heat. There's different
To the
schools of
sun.
thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's different schools of thought on BPA. There's level there's a
Right.
type A, there's a type B. And like the short answer is like get glass. Like if you're worried about cancer risk, like don't even gamble with plastic. Like don't microwave anything that's plastic. Like end of story.
Right.
Just use glass.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
why do you have to like debate? Like, hey, this level is acceptable to fetal cells, but this isn't. Like, how about we just don't play this game?
but there's
Right.
certain plastics that are safer. The stuff that you make milk
Yeah.
jug out of, any of the translucent plastics are much safer than anything that's clear.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
clear plastic is the dangerous stuff.
Right. And then, all human beings have like huge microplastic problems that we've never seen before in human
I'm
history.
horrified to even look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, like reduce plastic consumption. And it's one of the protocols, like whether like you're doing like IVF or chemo, like you reduce plastic consumption. Oh no. My vet was dealing with that for my dog. Like one time he was like throwing up nonstop, and we reduced all of his plastic exposure just in case there was an autoimmune issue happening somewhere because of plastic residue. So I just take that as a best practice, and like I mainly only own like glass Tupperware and blah blah blah.
Right. So basically, don't put anything in the plastic containers, right?
Like avoid it if you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. like
Don't
there's no,
microwave things in plastic.
and don't
Oh,
and,
never,
and don't heat
never,
plastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't heat up plastic.
never, never.
and the same thing with like spaghetti sauce in aluminum pots. You know, it just the acid eats the aluminum. You don't want to do things like that.
Right.
Mhm.
And then there's like Teflon pans and there's other problems. Like it gets crazy.
So,
So use like glass pot, right? Glass.
I mean cast iron if you really want to go hardcore.
Oh yeah, cast iron's the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
Yeah, I love cast iron.
Okay. Let me I know there's a couple folks that popped in after I uploaded this, but yeah, here's last week's notes. And then let me upload today's again so you have it. And Michael might wants to grab this. Okay, cool. So here's last week's notes for Thanksgiving. So moron Zuckerberg tore his ACL, probably doing a heel hook. It's an attack that twists your ankle, but once your ankle gets twisted, it actually rips apart the ligaments in your knee. And he's been training for that move a lot. It's a really dangerous move. But anyway,
Musk says he wimped out.
of course, Musk is going to talk shit. He's
Well,
such an ass now.
It's funny because he's on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
It's always funny to watch Joe and Musk.
I still love him like smoking a blunt, you know, on the first show or the first episode. It's hilarious. And supposedly Snoop Dogg has given up smoking yet again. Supposedly, whatever. Okay. We'll talk about Thanksgiving. Oh, don't forget Elizabeth Holmes' dad or Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos fame. Her dad was a VP at Enron. Just keep it all in perspective. And so is the CEO of Silicon Valley Bank. He's on the SF Fed. So he knows that crazy moron who said, oh, inflation's what, 10%? Oh, it doesn't affect me. What's that stupid Fed governor? Inflation doesn't affect me. You guys remember this?
From San Francisco, right?
Yeah, the lady.
It's a woman.
Yeah. She's such a
Forgot
dick.
her name. Yeah.
Yeah,
San
this is a
Francisco political mafia. They're dirty.
they're super dirty. It's the four royal families.
Yellen shouldn't be anywhere near the treasury. She's just spend it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't find it, but you guys
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Okay.
We know.
All right. What other news items we covered last week? This is a great video by Michael Maloney for a crash course in the major asset classes and his historical charts. It was really good. So check that out. There's a lot of buybacks. We talked about Sam Altman a bit. Looking at foundries. Argentina. We talked about the what's his name? Yeah, the libertarian guy. The Dutch party, they've been kind of around since Brexit days, but this guy is new and he's now flipped it to he wants to dollarize the country, and now a lot of his pro-Israel rhetoric's also coming out, so it's kind of weird, but we'll keep our eye on that.
So Dutch is important because there's a lot of countries that are going conservative.
This is the tip of the spear.
A lot of people are very anti-WEF and
and then this is in their home country, if you remember, like
Brussels, I can't wait for that
Brussels
one.
is there. So we're seeing Belgium push back, the Dutch push back, Hungary and Poland, so
Germany,
and Germany,
Italy.
Germany's getting stuck with the bill, so we'll see what's up.
We just have to wait for the US to push back on all of this too, you know.
Oh, we need people to vote, right?
Yeah.
And then we briefly talked about GDX versus gold, and this is a ratio we haven't looked at in a long time. So this has improved, I imagine, this week since gold prices has gone up. But then, kind of recapped my visit to the Asian Pacific Economic Forum meeting from, I guess, almost 2 weeks ago. But
how was that? I missed your talk.
It was awesome. I talked to Punjabis. They had nothing to report. I can say like the basic Punjabi greetings, so that always helps at Indian restaurants and with cab drivers. So they were cool. And
what's that? What's the greeting?
It's like phonetically, it's like Soft Shri Akal. It's like the formal hi, like hi, how are you?
Starts
That's
And
cool.
C
it's the,
Akai.
yeah, it's the formal hi, and it's done with a handshake. So yeah.
C
My local guy owns a restaurant in a market now. He just picked these up over the last 6 months.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, yeah. And Muslims and Punjabis kind of overlap if you don't know what they look like. But these like quick like international relations crash course. So let me show you the Sikh turban. Um, the clue isn't the turban. The clue is the iron ring that they wear. So
Oh,
so Sikhs are from North India.
okay.
Wait, are Indians still here? Ross is still here, and okay, all right. Let a Chinese American educate everyone on Indian culture here. Okay, anyway, so here's the Punjabis. They're in northern India where all the good food is. It's more rice, it's more wheat based. That's why like the biryanis and the naans are better. And South Indian
Mhm.
foods are really different. It's more rice based. It's a lot spicier and saltier. Okay, and then these guys, these are baptized Sikhs. They wear the turban, and they have an iron ring on their right hand typically. It looks something like this. It's just one band. This guy has like too many, but
Wow.
if you're baptized, you have to wear a turban, you don't cut your hair, you wear a band, and you carry a ceremonial dagger because you have to be armed like Saint Soldier all the time. And then um uh how do Punjabis like the Indian government? Oh, that's a very complicated and violent question. They've been persecuted by the Mughals for like the last several centuries, and uh, as a response, these guys have become like the conservative cowboys of India. They run logistics, they run the trucking industry. So you can imagine the level of conservatism, and they're the only consistent group in India that always has weapons, revolvers, AKs, all kinds of weird stuff. They love hunting and they love like fighting other Indians. So
But that
Mhm.
hasn't prevented them from getting assassinated, at least in Canada.
yes, and I can't see I can't say the full terror word, but there are some uh let's say there's anti-Indian sentiment that still carries on into other theaters of war outside of India. And
Mhm.
they've always
Are they the? Mhm, go ahead.
yeah, and they've always wanted to separate like Punjab and whatnot. So yeah.
Mhm. Are they the minority in India, the Sikh?
No, they're the dominant ethnic group in Northern India, but not for Middle
Mhm.
and South. Like India shouldn't be like the United States. Like the cultures are too diverse. It's not a unified area at all. Like the Indian, like the original like Dravidian kings have always had a hard time keeping like India like as one country. It's just been so hard. Yeah.
It's all Brits. When the Brits controlled them, they
They were the closest
pulled
ones,
all
yeah.
these people together, and then the Sikhs were the big military guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
They like to fight. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah,
And what are they like Hindu
no, it's a
or?
different religion. It's Sikhism. So the main religions of India, let's pull up an Indian map. Like this was my college major. Like, what is Warren doing at 20 and 21? He's studying
Study
India.
religion.
There you go. All right. Let's get a better map. Okay. All right. So we got the Pakis, we got the Afghanis, we got the Kashmir side. Punjab is okay. I need a better map. Punjab, where's Punjab? Um, and for someone who knows so much about Indian culture, why does Warren not invest in the Nifty 50? These are all great
Mhm.
questions. This is the Golden Temple, which is the image before. I really want to visit that. Okay, so here's Punjab. Okay, it's in the top left.
Mhm.
So they've always wanted to uh, what's the word? Succeed from the Indian Union, as it were. But yeah, they're over here. The hot Kashmiri girls are over here, and yeah. And then I worked for a lot of Indians here in Chennai.
Mhm.
This is the rebel province that was never conquered, so they're very proud of that, as they should be. And then there's a lot of like for all of us techies, we talked to a lot of people in Bangalore, um, Bombay or
Mumbai,
Mumbai
right?
now, and then
Mumbai.
Noida, which is their newer suburb, is over here. So yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. Um, where was I going with
Wow.
this? I'm not sure. Invest in the Indian markets, I guess. But yeah, so I was talking to Punjabis there. The Free Tibet folks were cool. Some boomers were like free Hong Kong and pro Ukraine. I was like, they understood Hong Kong, but they didn't understand that Ukraine was like a huge grift and just a money laundering operation. I'm like,
And
I'm
one,
not.
if I may,
Oh, please, Ross.
Well, actually, most of the money that's been donated to the Ukraine is being spent in the U.S. So
Yeah, it's being
it's
funneled
not
back
as
here.
big a grift as it sounds like.
Yeah. But yes, Ross, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I saw that article.
Wow. Ross, you still there? But Indian temples are badass. They're called gurdwaras. They have a free kitchen in all of them, in case you're ever in like San Jose. And their prayer food is really cool. It's called prashad. It's butter, sugar, and flour. It's delicious. Like
Yeah.
it looks like this. You get like a handful. It's amazing. It's freaking crack.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's delicious.
What is it? What is
It's
that
butter,
thing?
sugar, and flour.
Oh.
It's just like like part of the prayer process. It's really cool. Ross, you back? Okay. But yeah, APEC was great. Saw those folks. Most of the activists were Falun Gong. These are like the Chinese yoga folks from the 80s.
Why is the Chinese government try to put down those Falun Gong people?
It doesn't matter. It's just they were the soft target in the 80s that Jiang Zemin could persecute. They were unarmed, relatively healthy because of their yoga practice and Tai Chi.
Right.
And he monetized this group instantly by opening up the organ donor registry list, courtesy of Falun Gong folks. So
also, can you also maybe say that they're a little bit religious and CCP wants the CCP to be the religion?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was the initial thing.
Yeah, the only God is the state. And they were easily like 80% of the protesters or activists and demonstrators. And they're a little bit more old school. They're like old Cantonese, like country folks. And then I hooked up with a different anti-Xi Jinping group, which were all like techies from Cupertino. So it's like kind of different. And there was like a La Raza group.
Falun Gong.
Pardon me?
Epic Times is very heavy Falun Gong.
Yeah. And they have that big you'll probably see videos and billboards, like their big like Chinese opera production.
Yeah.
And then there were a lot of Mexican flags. They were kind of scared of me, like big 6-foot Asian guy with a US flag around his shoulders. Like they're like, which side is he on? The pro-China, pro-Taiwan? Like, we don't know. And then there were pro-Palestine folks in front of like the Gear Deli store on Market Street. There were Chinese like pro-China folks, and I read that like they couldn't field enough people, so they called up their triad connections and they brought it like old prostitutes and whatnot, supposedly. But yeah. And then there was a big Blackstone dinner with Xi Jinping. It was 40K a ticket to his table. Larry Fink was there and all the other like bootlickers. And let me see if I can have video footage to show you guys. And then we'll pivot to Cybertruck in just a second. So this is the group I found. And then they were just waiting to they finished like walking around. They're just waiting for like van to come pick them up. So I talked to them. They added me to their WhatsApp group. But like they didn't know like if I was an agent, a Fed, like 6-foot Asians that speak Chinese and English like don't magically appear out of nowhere. Like fortunately I'm a white hat, but they don't know that. So I could have been a mole or an agent, and game over for everybody. So like they're not doing their security protocol very good. Like I shouldn't know everyone in the group and their phone number. Like what the fuck? Yeah.
Did they gain your trust after a while?
Yeah. So like I was talking to them, and then we're talking, and they weren't sure who I was, and I'm trying to explain it in like my limited Mandarin, and I explained to, and they were talking about COVID. I was like, and I saw like what was happening, and they wasn't sure where I stood in COVID. I was like, look, COVID was purely to end the 2019 Hong Kong summer revolution that was happening. They're like, oh, okay, you get it. You're one of us. And then I also explained, uh and I have not received a vaccination as a result. And they're like, what? Because I also know like the Asian compliance rate, especially like guys, is really high. And to have nothing is like unheard of. Like all the guys were tripping out. And then they were like this guy was blown away that I was wearing like body armor. And he was like doing jabs on my stomach. And he was just like amazed that like I had a rifle plate. So yeah, once I kind of showed that I knew what's up, like they were much nicer to me. But for a second there, like they weren't sure if I was like a Chinese agent or not.
Right.
And then yeah, this is what Market Street kind of looked like. You know, Falun Gongs everywhere. It died down by the time I finished and went there in the afternoon. But yeah, and then everything was barricaded. There was at least 3,000 or 4,000 armed officers that I could see, let alone everyone else that was indoors. Like I've never seen so many black SUVs in my life. And everything was blocked. Like, and there was like, you can't fight people. There's security everywhere. So the previous Twitter spats that we saw of clips of people fighting, those are like small hit and runs. Like there's no way to organize, like in an organized fashion, like, you know, take your 20 guys and fight another 20 guys. Like that's not happening. There are way too many guns in every direction.
Wow.
Yeah, so other than that, it was really fun. I'm glad I went. And
Is Market Street as closed down as everybody online says?
it was very closed down. It was very clean. And
What about the businesses? I had
besides,
this conversation with Mom. She had this crazy idea about going out
yeah, but like,
to San Francisco. I was like, there's nothing there. It's
yeah, like besides food stuff, everything was closed down. Like super duper burgers there, and that's about it. Some random like little pizza places. But it's really lackluster compared to before. Oh, Ross, we missed you earlier. Did you want to try again on the mic? Ross, you there? Oh, maybe not.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, thank God. No, I was saying before, this Punjab stuff, actually Punjab was divided between India and Pakistan. So there's a sizable Punjab population in Pakistan as well. But they're you could call them as the poorer cousins of Indian Punjabis.
Yeah. And yeah, and then there's Sikh Punjabis, there's Hindu Punjabis. It blurs too.
But everybody's Indian, all right?
It's not. I think that's like calling all Asians Far East Asian, or it doesn't work. It's very regional specific.
So they want to be addressed as like Punjab or Sikh or what's the other one? So you don't want to call them India. They're from India or Indian, something like that.
They want to keep their heads down, is my opinion.
Well, see, India is a British concept, right? It's a British structure to give geographical lines to places that did not have lines. And you can see issues coming up all over the planet due to their past behaviors. The latest one is in the Middle East. So it's a similar thing in India as well, or the place that you call as India. South India is not really India as such. It's a completely different set of cultures, cuisine, literally different people.
And where are you from, Ross?
South India.
Which part?
Bangalore.
Oh, sweet.
Bangalore. Is there a common language that people in India speak to each other? No?
There are at least 11 official languages and I think something like 200 dialects.
Oh,
it's a bit more than that.
So
But
how do they communicate with each other?
English.
So
Oh,
Hindi is most prevalent for those who can communicate in that medium. And then again, but English is more on the urban side. On the rural
Mhm.
side, there's no English spoken.
Mhm.
Period. And majority of India still lives in the villages, in the rural side.
Mhm. What's the population in India? 200 million, more than that, right?
One point-
Billions,
one-
billion,
one-
billion,
one-
billion,
1.3 billion.
It's
I
billions,
thought it was
billions.
1.4 now.
It's 1.4. It's now the most populous country. It surpassed China a few months back.
It officially passed China about a decade
Really?
ago. Yeah,
It
yeah.
did?
Like the China figures are all fake. And GDP figures are fake. The birth certificates are fake. There's been so many documentaries on that.
So
China's
India
probably
is the. Mhm.
yeah, China's probably under a billion, honestly, right now. And we'll never see figures for this. But yeah.
So India is the most populated.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
By-
been
the
for a long
world?
time. Yeah. And it's probably gonna hold that for the next like 100 years. Brazil will probably
Wow.
be number 2. And then is it Niger that will be number 3 or something? Yeah.
Wow.
Nigeria
I
is
was
What about Indonesia?
Indonesia's
Indonesia.
significant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Indonesia is big too.
That's instantly top 5. Oh,
Indonesia is only 220 million. I watched that because of
but if you scale their growth rate and the fertility rate, like
Right.
they will hit 1 billion on that tiny island
Tiny
chain.
island.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But when you look at India, the land size is not that big as China. So you got billions of people living in India. That's
but they're
very dense.
but they're more stable because they don't have the geography problems of China. Like China's vast, but the water situation is really effed up. I don't think India has the same disaster of that.
Well, there's some very dry and poor places.
Yeah.
I have some water related stuff. I'll forward.
Oh yeah. And then there's 5 main religions of India. One's extinct, which is Buddhism. Ironically.
Extinct? Really? Buddhism extinct in India?
Do you know a single Indian Buddhist?
No, I don't.
Like they know the story, but you have to remember Siddhartha is a rebel. Like he
left the palace, and all that. Yeah.
Like he came in to break the system. Remember we talked about this earlier, the caste system. So he wanted to yeah, so here's the oh, come on, Cloudflare. So he wanted to overthrow I think this is misspelled, the Brahmin sect, the priestly class. And this is correlated with like skin color. The higher you go, the whiter your skin. I mean, Asians have always been. I mean, everyone's been doing that. It's not an Asian thing.
But it's kind of strange though, even though like Buddhism, Buddha was born in Nepal or India. Right?
But he was a rebel. Like his story is really interesting, and it kind of overlaps with Temujin a bit from the Mongol history. But yeah, so Buddhism like flared up, burnt out, and then got carried over to eastward.
China, Thailand, Vietnam.
Yeah, and then that's
Asian countries.
Yeah, and then there's 2 kinds of Buddhism. There's the do-it-yourself version, and then the and then there's a virtue signaling one, which is like I want everyone to go to heaven with me. It's like I've read both sets of books. Like everyone, like they're both right for different reasons. But yeah, that's Buddhism. There's Sikhism, which is like mainly Punjabi focused here. There's a lot of Muslims here. There's more Muslims that live in India than live in Pakistan. So, and then the Mughal Empire was, at peak strength a couple hundred years ago. There's the Jains, they're scattered. There's the naked ones, and then there's the ones that like to wear clothes. There's the Hindus, and then Hinduism varies so vastly. I think that's it, right? Islam, Jainism, Hinduism, Sikhism.
Punjab has some music scene.
There's some Christians as well.
I have a Punjab music collection someplace.
Oh, Punjabi music is the best. Their Bhangra
Yeah,
beats as a DJ, like I'm all about that.
exactly. That's why I said it.
And I DJ the San Jose Rock and Roll Marathon every year. So like at a certain time slot, I know like for the next hour in this marathon, it's gonna be only Indian. So I save all my Indian tracks and my Diwali music for that.
Do you
Um,
play lots of PBN?
Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
all the classics.
I'm not sure I've heard the Punjab music.
Bhangra music? Oh, it's amazing. Just look at Bhangra.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's serious party music. Indians know how to party. Like, I mean, there's elephants at weddings. Like, how epic is that? Yeah.
Yeah. Punjab.
So yeah. Meanwhile, look at the Cybertruck thing. It's like they're delayed on the broadcast. They're just putting like B-roll. There's no sound or anything. So it's the Cybertruck release is really lame.
Probably got that 30-minute wait to let everybody come.
Website's not updated, just people hovering here. Look at all these viewers, 113,000 viewers. Let's look at the Tesla stock, see if anyone's holding their breath. 12 p.m. Doji.
Who is that? 5 minute. Wow, that's a big spike.
Yeah,
Full
but then
point.
nothing happened. Market sells off. That's hilarious. Other Chinese news. Okay. We didn't go through the rest of the Chinese stuff. Okay. Let me update you guys on the Taiwan stuff. All right. So there's a couple. There's two main parties. The classic nationalist party, called the Blue Party. They're the classic relatively speaking, they're the hardliners that are anti-China. These are more of the centrists, and then this guy, I don't know what to make of him. He's not a Donald Trump, but he is like a non-politician billionaire. So he's the billionaire founder of Foxconn, the largest contract manufacturing company in the world, and does the bulk of Apple's productions. And he started with like 10 senior citizens in like a random room in like Hong Kong or something, in like 1979. And he's now one of the largest private employers on the planet. I think only India's train company or national train company is bigger, if I recall this correctly. Yeah, but yeah, he just dropped out of the race because he was splitting up the pro-China vote, because he's relatively pro-China. Because I mean, he obviously does business, has factories in China, and I mean, kind of a dirty Taiwanese guy, but it is what it is. But yeah, so he's dropped out of the race. So now, yeah. And then China's meddling has been legendary in this election cycle. I mean, if you can imagine, like, your number one geopolitical enemy is Taiwan, and the amount of saboteurs and honeypot agents and sleeper cells that you send there are insane. Like, we've talked about it before, like in 2021, 2022, but a huge part of the semiconductor fiasco at the water level was industrial sabotage by Chinese agents. Like, they will never come out and say it, but if you read between the lines, it's kind of clear that it's man-made accidents. And when you need high quality water for semiconductor production, when you're processing wafers, like, that is a non-negotiable item. And if you want to hamstring TSM, you mess up the water reservoirs. I mean, at least that's how I would do it if I was a mad evil scientist on the Chinese side. All right, cool. Let's pivot to the real estate crisis in China. It is a disaster. The richest district in Shanghai has seen massive price drops, 70% for some of the higher end folks. And year over year decline in real estate sales is 9.3% now from month 1 through 10 of this year. So it's the trend is getting very bad. And these are reported figures, which means it's really much, much worse. So
Probably twice as much.
At least, yeah. So we're seeing a caste system with Chinese characteristics. And what happens is folks who have to default whether their building never got built or whatever, what happens is they get blacklisted and they become a third-tier citizen. So they are denied planes, high-speed train transit. They can't even open up a bank account, and they become the new permanent underclass. And there's an untouchable layer as well in the Chinese schema, which is the political prisoners. Like these are the Uyghurs, the real political prisoners. They're part of the living organ registry for multimillionaires with no morals. Like it's really complicated. And yeah. So other than that, multinationals are well aware that electronics are all compromised, and people just have to carry burner phones and laptops just to be safe. And the deleveraging of China is continuing. Walmart has pulled out. I mean, they've been pulling out, and they're now setting up Vietnam as their Asian supply center, and that changes the whole supply chain, like where it's anchored. So if it's going to be in, I guess the leftovers of Saigon, it takes China off the world map. So you can imagine, like Walmart was responsible for like 1% of China's GDP for, I think, 2 decades at least, and you can imagine how this changes things. So the entire supply chain moves with it. And then don't forget, BlackRock is even bailing. They closed one of their smaller funds, relatively speaking, and they're like, yeah, we lost $1.4 billion and we're going to stop the losses. End of story. Moving on. And yeah, they're pretty cold about it. And yeah. So let's pivot to this article really quick and also look at Chinese GDP myths. All right. And don't forget, NIO has earnings next week. So all kinds of fun things there. And this is the Li Keqiang index. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought this was a different article. This isn't what I want to show you guys. Helpful, but not very actionable. Oh yeah, before I forget, this is Li Keqiang's no, this is not Li. This is, wait, I clearly pulled something wrong because this guy can't be alive. Okay, anyway, his funeral is kind of weird. And his daughter, this is Li Keqiang, the premier that passed away a month ago, or over a month ago. His daughter refused to shake hands with Xi Jinping, which is kind of a huge red flag. Like it's a big no-no. And both his widow embraced Winnie the Pooh's wife, but the daughter like brushed him off and ignored him, which kinds of show that there's some serious bad blood still, and it still likely points to murder. Okay, and why do I think that? Because Li Keqiang's body was burned like that same afternoon. Like he died supposedly at midnight, and by that afternoon his body was already cremated, which is very suspicious and reminds me of Princess Diana, because her accident was what, like 1:30 p.m. in that tunnel, and then by 5 p.m. she was embalmed. That's not cremation. That's like they roast your body. It's like how Filipinos make lechon, if you know what that is, the fried pig. They fried the whole pig. But yeah, she was embalmed because it was to destroy the fetus that was growing inside of her. With her, her boyfriend was the Herod's son, and he was a Muslim, and Queen Elizabeth did not want to have Princess Diana running around with a half Muslim baby. So yeah, she went bye-bye. And the only man to survive this was the boyfriend's bodyguard. And he has a very interesting life. He worked at the UN after this, wrote a book. I forgot, worked for what major conglomerate, and now he's chief of security at AstraZeneca. Like clearly they're paying him huge amounts of money to shut the fuck up. So yeah. And no way would the French government would be embalming ex-English monarchs. Like that has to come from the very, very, very top. Like no one has those balls. So yeah.
It destroys all the blood samples.
Exactly, and the fetus.
So you're saying that Diana was pregnant with the with her boyfriend, the guy she was with?
She was, and all the insiders around that are especially from the boyfriend side, stated this, and yeah, I mean, there's a tragic. Herat has a tragic memorial made by the dad. It's a statue of Princess Diana and his son.
How?
So this Herat's department store, it's that famous toy store, and yeah, this is the
him?
dad. Yeah.
That's the dad.
Yeah, this is the memorial that he made, Princess Diana and his son. Yeah.
Oh,
It's great.
Yeah, I mean, like as a religious scholar, I have problems with like Islam, but I feel like this is not a religious thing. This is not. This is murder and assassination. And
Well, it's been there forever. They've integrated. It's different if you've integrated.
Yeah. I mean, the dad's integrated, but the North Africans, they're a total different animal from like the Somali region. Like, that's when we have to put them to the sword. It's a different problem.
so so could it be that the royal family ordered?
Yes. The short answer is yes.
Yes.
Can I prove it quickly? No. Do I have access to the right files? No. I have to show you like shadows of shadows to really make the case. But if you know anything about politics, like these things are never random. Like,
Right.
like there's money behind it, there's pride, there's ego. And the royal family's done a lot of crazy things, like from and these aren't English people, they're Germans. Like the House of Windsor rebranded themselves 100 years ago or 120 years ago, and people forget. They're all Germans.
I think it's awesome, but yeah.
So they knew that she was pregnant, that Diana was pregnant?
Yeah, and we know who Prince Harry's father is. It's either the tennis instructor or the horse instructor, like the only two
really?
redheads. Yeah.
I need to read a book. You have like a conspiracy book for me to.
I don't know. I basically my default analysis is always counterintelligence. So
Right, me too.
I never trust the cover story.
Yeah, me too.
Trust
Me too.
nothing.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about the submarine. I know Michael brought this up a while ago. So it looks like what happened was there's massive infighting in the Chinese military, and the main group that was leading everything and had the biggest buy-in from the leadership was for a long time the rocket group, but the rocket groups has fallen apart due to lack of technical competence and also lack of support for Xi Jinping's final Taiwan plan. And people have told him that we cannot invade Taiwan successfully, and his response was to purge those folks. Like you're not being a good Leninist, with Chinese characteristics. So what happened was there was a rocket club. There were not rocket club, rocket group officials on board on the doomed submarine, and there was some kind of scuffle and infighting, like a Red October moment or something. Or Hunt for Red October moment, and the rocket group official sabotaged the submarine deliberately to get sunk. And this also goes back to like the factional battles. So it's the Shanghai clique, if you kind of remember. There's been a lot of problems for Beijing from this massive thorn in their side, and the way they fight back is financially and with industrial sabotage. So I looked up into, like, this is not reported very well at all, but for the submarine naval supply depots, there's been a high increase in the amount of mysterious fires along supply lines and logistics, and that's clearly the work of this group. So they'll do anything to slow down their main political rival. So that's kind of what's happening. So you're seeing infighting across multiple levels. So Xi Jinping is really painting himself into a corner, and not only can his military not deliver, but he's trusting no one, and he's just purging everyone left and right, which only incentivizes people to keep fighting back, since he's giving people no quarter. And if you don't want to disappear and have your family wiped out with you, you're gonna push back at some point. And yeah, so that's the military scandals. And then pivoting to economic, it's been all kinds of craziness. And Jack Ma is unloading his remaining Alibaba stock like crazy. And there was
Wow.
a leaked memo of an upcoming 25,000 layoff season for this
Whoa.
fiscal year or for this calendar year. And of course they're going to say it's false. Of course. But we see the writing on the wall. Like Alibaba's not performing. They're on the political shit list. Jack Ma, their CEO, doesn't want to live in the country. He's chilling in Japan of all places all the time now. And yeah, so it's a serious problem. So with Alibaba's poor performance post earnings,
Wow.
will this continue? I think we're seeing a decent case for that.
Yeah, it's
And
looking really bad. Under
yeah,
like 74.
yeah, and look at the sell-off. It's continuing. It's peaking. It's steadily mounting increases. So we should see a lot of money rotating out of the Chinese market. Like the so-called dragon index is toast. And then here's FXI, Chinese large cap. Oh, excuse me. And we're gapping down to new lows here. It's beautiful. And finally
Wow,
seeing some
25.
finally seeing movement out of the channel. And we could go to CWeb for more CWeb and KWeb for more Chinese internet stock related stuff. So here's CWeb. It's a little sleepy. KWeb also sleepy, but yeah. So there's Baba, that's really gapping down. Let's look at the other contenders. So here's our Panda Tech watch list. So we got Alibaba. This doesn't have options, but yeah, it's Alibaba, Pinduoduo, and Billy and Weibo. That's some good candidates for potential shorts. So let's look at Pinduoduo really quick. This is tied to like Temu and whatnot. Oh, this is doing really
Wow.
well. This is probably a mirage though. Okay, so let's look at Weibo. This is the Chinese WeChat doing horribly, gapping down. And what was the other one? Oh, Baidu, the Google clone.
I
Let's
do.
look,
Yeah,
yeah, let's
yeah.
look at these guys too. Baidu, kind of in the middle of the pack. Okay, not quite a known loser. Okay, oh, Billy's not doing well. Okay, Billy. All right, Billy. Yeah, here we go. Gapping down as well. Just had earnings. Yeah, and then we have NIO coming up next week. So not only is we know that there's a debacle in Shanghai, but NIO is on that EV side. And as you know, Chinese sponsored EV projects always fail. So we don't know where this is going to go. But let's take a look at the betting public. What are the wagers, at least today?
That's
Bullish.
scary for me. I got Neo shares.
Oh no.
I know.
What's your cost basis?
Too high.
Okay.
Not good.
You attend Warren's weekly sermons and have still bought NIO stock.
It was a long time ago.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's $7. Cool.
Wow.
And then what else? That's it for that's all the stuff I got for you guys. We can look at earnings if you guys want to check out like remaining stuff for today. But yeah, that's the bulk of it.
One thing I should ask about is in your earlier stuff, did you talk about the death of Charlie Munger?
Yes. Oh, let me upload the notes again. So you have it, Michael. We talked about Munger and Kissinger. The like the two major deaths this week.
Oh yeah, I saw about Kissinger too.
Like this guy created the house. He made the House of Saudi rich. He created the petrodollar. He knows who killed JFK. He is that era. Like yeah, he absolutely.
When did he get involved? When did he have power? I mean, all the way back to the 50s.
Yeah, he was with Nixon on that trip to China even.
Well, yeah, that was like 72.
Yeah. Let's rewind back. Like
That's a big deal. I mean,
he's born in
China was huge.
Yeah, he's born in Bavaria, 1923. Yeah, so he graduated college summa cum laude in 1950. So he's in his early 20s in 1950s.
Yeah, so he didn't have any power until late 50s.
Yes. He became yeah, it wasn't until So so it was Nixon and then Gerald Ford and then everybody else.
So when you say he created the petrodollar, that doesn't line up with my mental picture.
Uh
I mean, he may have boosted it and everything, but I think that was back in the 50s. But
yeah, some of that stuff predates him. So, but yeah, the Middle East
he's
oil
really
history
powerful,
is British originally, before the Americans got there. So
right.
yeah,
Right.
it's complicated. But he was
It's not
slicing
really
and dicing.
complicated. It
Yeah.
just means that all of the policy from the Brits came to the US.
Yeah. But yeah, he's been slicing and dicing the world like nonstop. I can't believe he's been alive so long. And then if you remember, like this level of leadership or former leader has a different level of healthcare, and that's why the death of 68-year-old Chinese premier is just really suspect. Like he's good, like a week earlier at an event, and then he's dead. Like, how does this happen? He's 68 years old. He's in excellent
Wow.
health, relatively
Blood clot.
speaking.
People die. I mean,
Yeah,
he probably
It's
smoked
it's
for
obvious.
30
It's obvious
years.
he's murdered, poison.
I'm on the fence.
But if anyone trusts his kids, and if if his own beloved firstborn daughter won't shake the hand of this guy, that's a clue.
Was he 68? That
Pardon
doesn't
me?
look like 68.
He's 68, or the passed away gentleman. Yeah,
I look at people's pictures on Facebook and I'm just horrified.
you should be. Yeah.
I mean,
The
I'm
Do
15
they
years
look
into
older than they are?
Oh God, man, it's just there's so many people that look like shit.
the average American woman is
I can date 40-year-olds easy. I can date
Oh,
35-year-olds.
wow.
no, the average American woman is 5'4" and 170 pounds.
170 pounds?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then antidepressants, box wine, cheap cat food.
Well, and they're
Wow.
socialists. They hate the patriarchy. I hear that shit all the time. It's horrifying.
They hate what, Dave? What did you say? They hate what?
Well, the quickest way that they hate the patriarchy. They'll just openly talk about the patriarchy.
Hey.
I've quit businesses because their employees talked about the patriarchy in front of me. And
What is patriotic? What's that?
Patriarchy.
What is that?
It's rule of society by the males.
Patriarchy?
We are not
Never
a
heard of that.
patriarchy. What? Oh, patriarchy.
Oh, patriarchy. Oh, okay.
We are not a patriarchy in the West. We are a matriarchy.
Oh, okay.
We are not allowed to be free and educated males with guns. That is the most hated group in the world.
Well, they don't like the meritocracy. I mean,
of course, yeah.
Men versus women. Women don't like conflict, and men, are willing to battle. I mean, this happens at the age of 6.
Right, and yeah, and women are born aristocrats.
Oh yeah, they want to be the talkers, and they
Yeah,
don't do the labor.
they like to be served.
I'm beautiful, therefore I deserve everything now.
Yeah, they want to be served.
But then at the age of 35, they become
leftovers.
Yeah, they're basically leftovers. There's a lot of talk of leftovers these days, in even the United States.
It is going to be a shit show, Dave.
The real hot girls who just had everything are just they hit this wall and it's crushing. They have to date people that are 20 years older than them.
Yeah, at least.
And the women's rights actually really destroy a lot of the women too, because majority of women are not like that.
They're not happy. Yeah.
No, we're not.
We've seen the data. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to be, we still want to be respected. We still want to be a woman. Have a man treat them like a woman, not equal rights.
Yeah.
No, we don't. No.
And part of the problem is what Ross brought up. I don't want to get myself blacklisted, but there are some foreign interests in destroying America. And
Oh yeah,
uh
100%.
I mean, the USS Liberty is still not talked about from 1967.
What is that?
Our beloved ally bombed the shit out of one of the most decorated US ships to ever do it. Like the Israeli Air Force almost destroyed a USS naval ship.
Mhm.
Where the U.S. was
No, no,
on the
no,
other. Was,
no. They attacked the US ship, 1967, unprovoked.
well, nothing's unprovoked. What was the U.S. doing? They were siding with Egypt.
This
They
was
just talking to Egypt.
No,
this
it was a signals intelligence ship, so they were just capturing spy stuff.
Gotcha.
yeah. And we've never talked about this. This is buried. Yeah. Really sad.
It kind of looks like ships of that era just are a trip.
Yeah.
I worked at a shipyard for a summer in
Oh,
Berkeley,
sweet.
or in Alameda.
Were
So I actually
you
know quite a bit about the boats that were docked there.
were you welding or what'd you do?
I just walked around and acted like security guard,
Oh, cool.
but it was full summer. There was 60 acres. So I mean, it was quite a few boats, and there was a absolutely wonderful dry dock. It was cool. I wasn't supposed to go to a lot of places, but when you're walking around, keep an eye on things. You pretty much go anyways.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Chomsky. Yeah. This is the biggest super PAC too, right? I believe. Super PAC size. I don't even know if this is published. Super PAC let's see.
They
APAC has
intentionally,
been doing pro-Israeli lobbying for many, many years.
Super PAC by
they, their latest is they paid what 20 million to someone to contest the elections against Omar.
Oh, yeah, the infighting is I can't keep track of who hates who and why and what institution and what anti-establishment hates this establishment group. It's so weird right now.
Well, no, it was great.
I
You
love
know,
it. It's
that to
yeah,
happen. They're all fighting over the same money,
and they're basically eating themselves now.
right?
Oh, let's see. This is cool. PAC contribution. All right, let's see.
Realtors. Wow.
Um, credit union. So here's the the APAC one right here. These numbers don't make sense. I think where's the other, we're missing like commas here. What the hell?
You're missing a lot of zeros there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably in thousands.
Home Depot. I have the Tiger Pack.
Wow.
Why does Sylvester Stallone have his own super pack? They have a theme song, guys.
Mhm.
The Eye of the Tiger Political Action Committee. What the hell is this? What is this? Louisiana. What the crack? Not Pennsylvania? There was a missed opportunity here. Here we go. $95 million. Oh, 95,000? Wait, what? PETA has a bigger budget than this. What the crack is this? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we've blown through the time slot for today. Last 20 minutes. Oh, earnings considerations. Again, yeah. Let's refresh. We got Ulta Beauty, we talked about that. Got Marvell. UiPath was a 2020 IPO. I believe it's had an unfun time. Where it used to be my IPO watch list. Where did it go? IPO yo-yo. Here we go. Unity Software. Where's Where's UPath? Where did it go? Oh, okay. What's the ticker?
Path, PATH.
PATH. Oh wow. It's setting a triple top for the year. Interesting. Pretty bullish. Okay.
Bullish, yeah. I think
Um,
Kathy Woods have quite a bit of shares in her portfolio.
okay.
Yeah.
Kathy Woods. What else? We got Dell. I used to use Domo for work for data visualization elsewhere. Yeah. What's Tilly's? This seems familiar. What is Tilly's? Oh, American Clothing. For who? Kids?
Oh, like a uniform kind of thing?
Oh, skateboarding, lounging, snowboarding, surfing.
Oh.
Oh, I am not the am I the target audience? Kind of? No, not really. Okay. Formerly the world of jeans and tops. Okay.
It's interesting that they claim that lounging is an active lifestyle.
Lounging is an active lifestyle. I think the overlap of that Venn diagram with the Lululemon crowd is high.
Oh, that's crazy how women would be like spending hundreds of dollars for like a pair of
Pants.
yoga pants. That's
Like
crazy.
$150, $200 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100 was pre-COVID. Now it's different.
I don't understand that.
And then
Well, because they look good. Yeah, have you seen
They-
cheap yoga
they-
pants? They're just
it's
They just want to
amazing
show
for
their brand.
they don't fit right. Let's just say.
it's like a wonder bra for your butt. Like it works for sure. But like I'm so glad I'm not in middle school and high school to deal with this. Like life was bad enough with jeans.
Yeah. I'm talking about like, kids that maybe not even like having income yet, right? And they will be like buying Lulu. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
Well, if you had daughters, Lonnie, you would be dealing with this problem. But you had boys. So
I have boys. I'm so glad.
and their girlfriends are dealing with this problem. Or,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I mean, the boys are dealing with the girlfriend problems. Like, yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And how many of your boys have a Peloton yet?
None.
Okay,
Look,
okay.
if you can afford an iPhone at $1,500, then you can get some cheap
Lulu, right?
Lululemon pants. to
And
go
a
with
coat
it.
Yeah.
hanger for your living room.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I mean, Lulu made clothing for guys also, right? But do guys buy them?
Look, the return
I
on
do,
investment
actually.
on Instagram and TikTok,
Mhm.
you pay for those Lulu pants in no time.
Oh yeah,
Those
you get
kids make
true.
money on TikTok.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
Do they have like an OnlyFans style payment?
Oh, you don't even need that. These kids make money on TikTok. They just put 10-second videos and they're making thousands.
No, I
Yeah.
understand.
What's,
I'm not on TikTok. I have never been on TikTok.
no.
10% of the University of Georgia are active prostitutes. Sorry, 10% of the student body of
Oh my
the
goodness.
University of Georgia are active prostitutes.
Wow.
Is that like considered a black friendly college? I assume.
It's the South. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's probably not. It's not a black college, but
It's close.
half the population, I'm sure. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is true.
You have
They're all looking for an older sugar daddy, man.
like and I haven't DJ'd a lot this year, but like it is insane, like the stuff that's possible for middle schoolers and high schoolers. Like Instagram has destroyed the world. Like kids are selling
Yeah.
themselves. Like my friends, like my professor's daughter, not granddaughter, was selling cocaine at her Catholic private school in high school in the Bay Area.
Oh my
Like she was
goodness.
expelled for selling cocaine, and she recruited other students to sell cocaine with her. Like this is the amount of like insanity we're seeing.
Wow.
Like OnlyFans is the least of my worries.
Wow.
Like actual sugar babying, prostitution, it's happening. It is horrific. There's lots of unsupervised young adults, and they got shit to
Mhm.
do and lots of smartphone apps, and they get into a lot of trouble.
Is it the parents' fault?
No, I'd say
Or
it's
not?
society.
Yeah, it's a society for 100%.
Like I'm really conservative, as you guys know,
I am. Yeah, me
and
too.
I have a lot of friends, and I study families, and some of even
Hmm.
the best families I know can't keep it
Hmm.
together. Like their kids go off the rails. Like more so the girls than the boys, but
Right.
um that smartphone is just Pandora's box from hell. It's Lilith's mirror.
Yeah.
It's
It's
yeah.
destroying people's lives, society,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
moral decay, every level. It's just horrific.
yeah.
But
Words can't even describe it.
this can't be by this, it's not a happenstance.
It's by
Because
design. It's by design.
Yeah.
it's
By
by
design, yeah,
design.
100%.
And
Why is it that Steve Jobs, may his soul rest in peace, did not allow his kids and his family to touch the tablets,
yeah,
iPads, and
exactly.
whatnot? The
Zuckerberg as
story.
well. Yeah.
Oh
Same.
yeah.
Yeah. The powers
Wow.
that be who put these devices out, they don't let their own family and close circle
Yeah.
people touch those
And
things, or none of them are on Facebook and Instagram because they know what these algorithms are capable of.
Yeah.
So
right, right.
It rewires your brain, and for children it's irreversible.
Unbelievable. It's just so bad.
Like when I
And
see
things like what is it? What is that website that people hook up with each other? What is
which
that?
one? Which one?
Uh, the one that's most popular one.
Instagram.
No, no,
Instagram
no,
is
no. The
no
other one. Start with a T. What is
there,
that?
but that's not the biggest one. That's Tinder.
Tinder.
But Tinder is the most obvious app, but it's not the biggest one. The biggest one is Instagram.
Oh my God.
Because in on Instagram you can be incognito. You slide into the direct message, and then the conversation gets off Instagram. It goes on a Snapchat where texts are not saved or pictures. And that's how most people cheat.
Yeah, it's a dangerous world we live in
Yeah,
for our kids, you know?
yeah. Like being a whore for young males and females is just really easy today. Like people fuck first and date after. Like it's insane how deregulated the sexual marketplace is.
I know. I was just shocked.
Yeah. All right, cool guys. That's almost 3 hours. We can call it there. I think and I'll upload and all that good stuff. And I posted the notes, I believe. Let me just share it one more time.
Anything from Tesla yet?
Oh yeah. And
The
Oh, we
story.
started already.
that's it. He's lost about like 90, like 30,000 viewers. Let's go to the website. Order now. Okay.
It looks ugly.
$80,000, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Starts at
It
40.
looks
It looks like the text was done by a small child.
The Cyber Beast.
Yeah,
0 to 60 in 2.6. Holy shit.
pretty amazing.
it looks
That's
ugly.
why Ellison was talking about police cars.
Let's see what the total out the door price is. Order with card. Oh,
It's $250. Put your name down. Now,
should we do
let's
this,
click
guys?
on the contract and see if they have an anti-flipping provision. You see the terms at the bottom? Pre-order
Yeah.
agreement.
There's something like you can't sell it after like a year
Resell.
or so,
Search
right?
the word resell.
Like after you can't sell it or something.
Yeah, it was about 12 months.
12 months, yeah.
It should be popular in Australia for all the Mad Max fans.
Yeah.
You
Looks
just
like the
make your own in
marketplace is
Australia.
not thrilled. People are not a fan.
They're not interested. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Resale. Tesla and its affiliates. We may unilaterally cancel any order that we believe has been made with a view toward resale of the vehicle or has been otherwise made in bad faith. Okay. So they don't let you own the car. They're trying to North Korea all of this. Ugh.
Well, this sounds very similar to what happened in the textbook world with the rights of first sale and everything.
Oh, I'm not sure
Mhm.
how that works. What is that? What is that problem?
Well, people were claiming that it shouldn't be legitimate to import textbooks from foreign countries.
Yes.
Publishers were complaining
Confusion?
about that, but I think the court ruling
What?
finally said that if you actually
Oh my
bought the
God.
books, it's
Mhm.
legal to resell them.
I have two contracts now.
There was a market bringing engineering textbooks from India.
Where?
You had to get ahead of it about 6 months. And
Hmm.
everybody knew what classes they're taking next year.
15.
$25 versus 100.
Differences.
Oh, I see. They're doing 3 years gas
Okay.
savings. I thought this was the subsidy. It's not. It's the BS gas savings. Oh, they can't do that. That's fraud. Is it fraud? No, it's misrepresentation at least. Okay. Well, okay, guys. I need to call it to close out some stuff and put on some earnings. But yeah, we can call it here, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks,
Everyone grab the
Warren.
notes. I'll upload. Is PJ not meeting today, Kurt?
No, he's there. I'm listening to both of you.
Oh wow, juggling. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Well, stay safe, guys. We'll do our first session next December, week 49. And yeah, we'll catch you guys then. So stay safe, stay hedged, and we'll chat soon. Okay. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Warren.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Have fun, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you guys.